Shalom. You gotta beware of posts like this. You gotta beware of this. I'm gonna show you what I mean. You got people who believe in the Messiah and do not pay attention to context clues. This is no diss. This is just fulfilling scripture of people who listen to what people say, but they still do not listen. You know what I'm saying? You could listen all day long and they still go astray. You know what I'm saying? People are blind. Whatever's right there in front of them, and people have eyes and they do not see. People have sight and they see. So you got to beware of people who subscribe to the Mashiach, Yahushua, the Son of the Most High Father, Yahuwah, the power. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that whatever the Mashiach say goes. When you read Mark 9:7, Yahuwah said to Peter, James, and John in the same presence in front of Yeshua, his son, Moses, a prophet, and Elijah, the other prophet. Oh, don't forget that Yeshua the Mashiach is also a prophet too, in front of the presence of three prophets, to tell Peter, James, and John that he is his son and you need to listen to him. You have to listen to him. Did he say listen to Elijah? No disrespect to Elijah. You should already know what Elijah is about and everything. You should know what you need to know about Elijah. You should know what you need to know about Moses, right? So whatever you convey through both of them, it's still all good. But don't forget that one stipulation, that man should not live by bread alone. Don't live by Moses alone, meaning the Torah, the 5 books of Moses alone. Don't be stuck at Sinai. Don't be going from Genesis, from the creation, all the way to Sinai, and that's it. And then you continue that cycle, or you end up going from Sinai, and then you revert back to Exodus, and you go into Deuteronomy. Exodus, Deuteronomy. Why I say that? Because you're dealing with Israelites dealing with Egypt and coming out of the land of Egypt and receiving the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, all the way up to the contract where they do the sprinkling of the blood from Moses upon the children, right? So you telling me that you going through that cycle again, being sprinkled upon and all that, after the Most High's Father Yeshua sprinkled, his blood was sprinkled upon the floor, upon the ground of Israel, in the land of Israel. What was it, Golgotha? When the Roman soldiers speared them on the side, and what? Blood came out. What, blood and water? But his blood came out upon the land. Whose land is that? The Israelites. And before that even happened, did not the generation at that time said, let Yahshua's blood be upon them and their children? So guess what? There is another blood upon you, Yahshua the Mashiach. Spiritually, did just like Moses, did they had to literally put his blood upon the people? Nah. They was telling Pilate, let his blood be upon us. And crucify him. His blood upon you. So why you still running back to Sinai? If you're going to run back to Sinai, you need to teach what it says so you can convey it to those who say that they Jews or Yahuda, who are Levi, who are Benjamin, right? And all those who came out of Babylon captivity and went to Jerusalem. They went to Judea. In Jerusalem and Judea and the inhabitants of Jerusalem? Have ye sold unto the Grecians, who were the inhabitants of Jerusalem? It wasn't just the it wasn't just the tribe of Judah. You got to read the book of Chronicles again. But now you got to understand when you read these scriptures right here, so you have to pause the video and read. When you see people talk about the Mashiach, about you gotta do the law, statutes, and commandments. I'm telling you, when you read the book of Hebrews, the book of Hebrew in the New Testament, it's a New Testament scroll it's called the book of Hebrews. When you read it thoroughly, there is a passage that will tell you about Yahshua the Hamashiach being a high priest. He already a high priest. He already then ascended. It talks about the law. If you already taken up the cup, the blood of the the blood cup and the bread that you had to break, if you dealt with that and you know about that tradition, right? And you already accepted that, why are you still going around teaching people that they still up under the law of Moses? Whatever the Mashiach has conveyed to you, you up under that now. You can't serve two masters. Who is your Adonai? Some people say Yahuwah. Yeah, but whose head is Adonai? Some people say Moses. Yeah, Moses did do what Yahuwah said. But guess who did also after him? Many other prophets did. From Isaiah to Elijah, on down all the way to Prophet Yahushua. Mark 9:7. Matter of fact, Mark 9 verse 1 through 7. Read it up to 7. He told you, Yahuwah himself, the Father, don't live by bread alone, but by every word of the Most High. You gotta understand, you have to listen to the Mashiach now. It's right there. It's right there in the scripture. You gotta understand that when he says until all be fulfilled, what? The stuff that was said about him. You gotta read what the Mashiach had to fulfill. When he manifested his whole time dealing with the Pharisees and all this stuff, look, he ain't come to stop what Moses had conveyed. No, he came to fulfill what Moses had conveyed. Okay, all y'all, basically, you put yourself in the position in that time frame, be like, okay, my kinfolk right here, these are my kinfolk, so I'm in the flesh, so I'm up under the old covenant too. I have to fulfill these things. But unlike everybody else, I have certain things that I need to fulfill because I was sent here to do something. So what he had to do was complete the Mashiach prophecies that was written within the book of the law. You know, when you read Deuteronomy 18, right? 18 verses 15 through 19. You have to listen to the Mashiach. That links you up to Mark 9:7. Hence the word Mark. You know, the Tav. You know what I'm saying? The 22nd letter of the Hebrew alphabet or the Hebrew hieroglyphs. The Tav. You know what I'm saying? The cross, right? All of this is spiritual. Let's go back. You have to know what he came to fulfill. These are the words I spoke with you while I was still with you. Everything must be fulfilled that is written about me in the law of Moses, in the 5 books, and the prophets, and the Psalms. That's what he came to fulfill. Why? To suffer and to die and to be risen up. He came to fulfill those things. And in his name, acceptance and forgiveness of what? Sins will be proclaimed to all nations, beginning in Jerusalem. It had to. The Tav, right? You are the witness of these things. Listen.